Good morning, everybody. Why the hell she isn't wearing one of those Bavarian dresses, maybe you ask you. I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. Those dresses are not a part of the service union worn by a Bavarian minister. And there's another cliché to be swept aside. Bavaria is more than just fairy tale castles, beer, and Oktoberfest. Indeed, it is so much more than that, which I think the film illustrated very clearly. Bavaria is home to 12.6 million people. That is approximately the population of Illinois, yet we only have half the area. Bavaria is the economic powerhouse in Germany. We are actively involved in shaping the policies of Germany's federal government and contribute to legislation on the EU level via our representation in Brussels. And there's another thing that makes us stand out. Although we do keep strong traditions, we are stuck neither in the past nor in the present. In Bavaria, we face the future and the topics that will shape it head on. The next act we have on the global stage began some time ago. The digital revolution means we are restructuring everything: day-to-day life, business models, and the foundations of our social prosperity. Who could have imagined only a few short years ago the extent to which keywords like data protection, cybersecurity, big data, and Industry 4.0 would determine our daily discourse today? From parliamentary debates and corporate board meetings to conversations among friends over dinner. I recently visited 4 internet companies in the Silicon Valley. There I experienced firsthand how leading US companies are following the discussions on digitalization taking place in Europe, especially as regards the EU data protection reform and the subject of safe harbor. I've also learned that there are various American interest groups attempting to influence the European decision-making process to go in different directions. In any case, society and politics have the ability to define the guidelines and the boundaries. That is encouraging news for us all. Here today, let us learn from each other to that end. It will translate into more success for all of us. I look forward to hearing your ideas, and to be sure, you can look forward to hearing exciting things about Bavaria, Europe, and our ideas. Bavaria has positioned itself very well for the radical changes on the horizon and is facing these digital challenges directly. Today, Bavaria is the driver of digital progress in Germany. Bavaria's global players are pioneers in Industry 4.0. The engine manufacturer MTU is producing turbine parts using 3D printing. KUKA is implementing its robots all over the globe to automate factories. Our world-class universities in Munich and Erlangen-Nuremberg are trendsetters in production research. With a platform for digitalized production in Bavaria, we are networking business and academia. The engineers at Bavarian automakers BMW and Audi are masters of innovation. In January, an Audi A7 drove itself from Silicon Valley to the CES in Las Vegas. Today, our state capital, Munich, has already become Germany's #1 site for ICT startups. We promote new enterprise with centers for internet and digital media. According to an EU Commission study, Munich is Europe's #1 hotspot when it comes to ICT, even placing ahead of London and Paris. With the Global Venture Summit hosted in Munich, we are networking our digital ecosystem with the whole world. So why, folks, did everybody talk only of Berlin yesterday? Anyway, gorgeous city too. And political discourse is addressing the topic of digitalization. Just this week, my party, the CSU, launched a thematic week on the topic of digitalization. With the Bavarian Digital strategy, the Bavarian government will turn our state into the leading region for the digital society of the 21st century. we are increasing funding for digital infrastructure fourfold to 2.0 billion euros. We are building a center for digitalized production, as well as Bavaria Digitalization Center for Research and Startup Promotion. The Bavaria Cyber Alliance Center is turning the topic of security into a part of Bavaria's brand essence on the internet as well. The digital revolution is not a challenge purely on a regional or national level. There is an international dimension to topics like data protection and data security. As Minister for International Relations for the state of Bavaria, I've made digitalization one of the focal points of my work. That is why I traveled to California in April and to you at the DLD today to inform myself on site and firsthand about the discourse taking place in the US, the motherland of the digital revolution. I know there are many representatives from companies and institutions out of Israel in attendance today. That's great news for me, as I will be traveling to Tel Aviv in 1 month to have a look at the startup scene there. The EU also understands there is no getting around the topic of digitalization. We are going to create a mutual solution in Europe for network mobility, Industry 4.0, smart grids, and telemedicine. Europe's digital single market is creating the finest opportunities for our 500 million consumers and companies in the EU. We are deregulating and strengthening the digital market for a Europe to A-level with our partners in the USA and Asia. But let me stress one thing here. I'm not talking about protectionism. I'm not talking about restriction or of our markets for non-EU companies. On the contrary, for a US company looking to become active in the EU, this means no longer having to familiarize oneself with 28 different legal and business systems and employ a legion of attorneys. There will be a single European system in the future, one single European system in the future for the sake of everybody worldwide. The EU Commissioner for Digital Economy and Society, my good friend Günther Oettinger, presented a package of measures for the digital single market only yesterday. The new copyright rules promote creativity and innovation. In the telecom single market, we want to see the same speed for all data. For us, this is part of having a democratic internet. Special services will only be available via separate capacities. When it comes to audiovisual media services, we are liberalizing advertising rules and leveling the playing field for broadcasting companies and internet services. With the EU data protection reform, we are protecting our citizens and companies. These issues affect everyone, from social networkers to car drivers. That is why we will be structuring access to data to the benefit of the people. This creates trust and is in the interest of our industry. Our goal is to be the gold standard in global data protection. Here we are looking to set standards in Europe. This is by no means an attack against non-EU companies. We want to have a chance to catch up with US companies. Fair play in commerce means equal treatment of companies. That has to apply an equal measure to data transfer between European and American companies. This is another reason why the Safe Harbor Agreement is being examined so closely. We need a sustainable solution that will benefit everyone. We welcome the Consumer Privacy Bill of Rights and the Security Initiative as important signals coming out of the USA. Dear friends, the digital transformation is not a process that we have to sit back and watch happen. Rather, it's a process that we can actively shape, a process where we ourselves are the masters. It is vital to leverage this perspective to include everyone in the digital breakthrough, indeed, to raise enthusiasm for it. What impressed me most about my visit to the Silicon Valley was seeing the bite, the ambition, and the will for success there. Not being content with what has been attained, but tackling the task at hand, the pioneering spirit, the ability to fail and fall down at times and to get up over and over again. We in Bavaria, in Germany, and in Europe can learn a great deal from the USA to that end. Yet one thing is clear for us Germans and Europeans. Not all technical possibilities line up with our values and norms. We need clear rules of engagement. That also applies for the intelligence agencies on both sides of the Atlantic, which are currently back under the media's fire. As strategic partners, Europeans and Americans need to coordinate closely. That applies just as much to TTIP. If we analyze cultural and legal difference in a sober manner, then we'll also find bridges to one another. We share the same values. Individual freedom and security constitute the foundation of our prosperity. Freedom and security alone guarantee our high social, ecological, and business standards. Our special relationship of mutual trust is just as important as ever. 3 weeks ago in Washington, I had a rigorous discussion with the Deputy United States Trade Representative, Mike Pankey. Last week, I spoke with representatives of the US government at the German-American Data Protection Day in Munich about transatlantic data security. As you can see, we in Bavaria maintain close exchange with our American friends. That will continue to be the case in the future. And that is also the case with Israel. This year we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the implementation of diplomatic relations between Israel and Germany. Israel is an important partner for us today, and especially in the field of digitalization. I am very keen on meeting with young Israel professionals next month in Tel Aviv. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not simply shape digital life in Europe, the US, and Israel. Let us shape it together, to the benefit of our companies and to the benefit of our citizens. And should one or two of you still be surprised by my outfit, then let it be said here, it's true, we do love showing our respect for tradition in Bavaria. Thank you. I'm missing a photo. That was the tradition. Thanks.